I was saying that European Union has banned the import of US chicken. You know, there's been talks about bird flu, and so I was thinking, is it along those lines, or is it because that because they did cite concerns about chlorine washing and a few other concerns. So I was asking that, do you think that this is scientifically justified, or could just this be a cultural difference or otherwise?
Yeah, you know, you're talking about bird flu, and, you know, we need to just let that disease run its course. If we start trying to interfere with it, we're just going to make things worse. They've done this process over in the United States that just absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. They're testing for the presence of the bird flu virus with a swab. Either they're swabbing the mucus in the oral or the rectal region of these birds, and they're looking for the presence of a virus. Well, you'll find it there. You'll basically find it anywhere you look for, because it can be anywhere and everywhere. And just because you find it in the mucus, which is outside of the animal's body, that doesn't mean that animal will be infected or is infected. It doesn't mean that at all. So what they're doing is they're finding evidence that, yeah, the virus is there, and then they're demanding that these farms exterminate their entire chicken flocks, exterminate all of them, even the ones that are completely healthy. That makes no sense, because you're not giving the animal the opportunity to come in harmony with the virus. There's a message in there that needs to transmit through that herd, and once it does, then herd immunity is reached. Mm-hmm. Herd immunity is defined as the ability of a certain percentage of the population to not become infected. And the only way that you're going to reach that is if a certain number of the herd has become naturally infected and built that natural barrier that protects future infections. And it's going to be in the mucosal layer. And you can test for that. You can absolutely test for mucosal immunity. And we're not doing that. That's what we should be doing. We should be testing for mucosal immunity, not looking for the presence of a virus, which doesn't mean anything.
So why isn't that being done? Is that deliberate? Just like we saw with the COVID-19 using the PCR test, that really didn't help with anything.
No, it doesn't help with anything. And, you know, look, I'm just a simple country chiropractor, but I can tell you, we have the ability right now in humans and animals to test for mucosal immunity against anything. You can test for bird flu, you can test for COVID, you can test for measles, chicken pox, the flu. You can test for that. You can also test for T-cell cross-reactivity. So if your mucosal barrier fails, your second line of defense are cytotoxic T cells. They have the ability to detect cells that are infected and destroy those cells before the virus gets past the epithelial barrier. We can test for that. Right now, we have the ability. We're not doing it. What are we doing? We're testing for antibodies. That only means that person did experience some kind of an exposure, which could have been recently, it could have been a long time ago.
So which means the science in itself is not even complete, transparent science. That's exactly what we're saying here.
We're looking for all of the wrong things in all of the wrong places. We could fix that. We could fix that overnight.